Thank you for joining us live for the City of South Fulton City Council meeting. We are proud to introduce the leadership entrusted with guiding our city forward. Mayor Carmelita Gumbs, District 1 Councilwoman Dr. Catherine Rao, District 2 Councilman Aaron V. Johnson, District 4 Councilman J.C. Sebastian, Mayor Pro Tem Keosha B. Bell, District 6 Councilwoman Natasha Williams Brown, District 7 Councilwoman Linda Becker Pritchett. Supporting the work of this body in the operations of our city are City Clerk Corey Adams, City Manager Sharon D. Subadad, and Interim City Attorney Sarah Kelly. Thank you for being the best part of the City of South Fulton, a city on the rise.
All right, good afternoon, and I will officially call our City Council work session for May the 12th, 2026 at 4 p.m. to order. Mr. Clerk, can you please sound the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of council, and the general public. This is today's roll call for today's work session. The Honorable Catherine F. Rao, District 1.
Present.
The Honorable Aaron V. Johnson, District 2.
Present.
The Honorable J.C. Sebastian, District 4.
Present.
The Honorable Keosha B. Bell, District 5.
Present.
The Honorable Natasha Williams Brown, District 6.
Present.
The Honorable Linda B. Pritchett, District 7.
Here.
And the Honorable Mayor Carmelita Gumbs.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Mr. Clerk, can you please sound the next item?
That brings us to city manager's items. Our city manager, Sharon D. Subadan, will be presenting her monthly report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. The monthly report was submitted to you. It's also available online. I am subject to any questions you might have. And before we jump in, Mayor, would you like to take an opportunity to introduce the summer college interns?
All right, Council, while you all are preparing for your questions, please log into the queue. But I would like to take a moment and have our interns for our business amnesty program. This is a 10-week paid program for the city of South Fulton, and they're going to help us. And I would like for each one of them to stand, tell us your name and what college you're representing or graduated from. And I don't know, Mr. McClendon, did you want to come up and share? Okay, he does not. He just want to show them where to go. So please join us at the podium. Oh, and we're going to have our Assistant City Manager, Ms. Carmen Davis. She's going to share a little bit about you all. I had an opportunity to meet some of you all yesterday and see some familiar faces as well. And I sat in on one of your sessions, and you all have a lot of great ideas to help the old fogies like myself. Well, I'm not that old, but I appreciate, the insight of helping building a city that will be all-inclusive, especially of young people and what they want to see in our city. So thank you for that. Carmen?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. Good evening. I have the privilege to introduce these college students who are so awesome and dynamite, here to help us with the amnesty program, as you said, Mayor. This program is a 10-week program that we are calling the City Government City Learning Program with the support of the amnesty program. And so this is a 6-week program that started yesterday and will go to July 10th. And in the program, there's 2 components. One, it is a city learning tour or sessions that we're conducting where each of them will go to, as a group, will be hosted by each department, and they will learn about the department, their mission, their service to the city. They will also learn about career paths and also get some hands-on experience in some departments, depending on the department and what they have planned for them. So it'll be a very robust plan. We also would like to invite City Council to come and address the students and share about your career paths and some insights and wisdom that you would like to share with them as well. The point of this program is not only to support the amnesty program and get the support that we need to process the different applications, to reach out to businesses, and also supply to the data that you require to find out what is the outcome of us increasing our compliance with our business community. But also, this would be an engaging governmental learning process for them so that we can feed them into our future public sector leaders. And so with that, I will then turn it over to the students, and they will share their names and the schools they represent.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Bailey Boyd, Southern University Agricultural and Mechanical College, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ooh, okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Deani Melter, representing Georgia State University.
Good afternoon. My name is Gia Bortedoku, and I'm representing Bethune-Cookman University.
All right, but then,
Good afternoon. Adriana Davis, and I represent Georgia State University.
all right.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Hendricks. I represent Georgia Southern University.
All right. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Taylor Jones. I'm representing Albany State University.
Okay. I love the personality.
Good afternoon. My name is Princess Black, and I'm representing Georgia State University.
All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Shamar Cropper, and I'm representing Georgia Military College.
All right. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I am Madison Zobish, representing the illustrious Tuskegee University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Solomon Ibidapo, and I attend the Tuskegee University.
Okay. That is wonderful. So we see a lot of Georgia State and Tuskegee. We all welcome you.
Of course, there's a lot of Georgia State.
Okay. So please come and stand in front so we can all take a picture. We hope that your experience here will be a life learning experience. Some of you all may decide to get in politics, or you may want to just help local government, but we appreciate the work and the effort. And remember what I said the other day, government is supposed to be boring, okay? It's supposed to be boring. Wait a minute, you got to take pictures with the council?
Can y'all come and fit in a little bit more? Some people will have like in two rows.
Y'all want to do 2 rows? Okay.
All right, that's good right there. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Can everybody see me? Perfect. 3, 2, 1. All right, that's good.
Y'all let us know if y'all need anything. Love it. All right, I believe Councilwoman Natasha Williams-Brown have a question. I recognize you at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I have a couple of things. On page 10, where there's the general fund expenditures and encumbrances by department as of March 31st, the Public Works Administration says it's noted that 81% of their budget has been used, and then Parks and Rec it says that 84% of their budget has been used, and I know that we're going into summer with summer programming and summer camps. So I just wanted to ensure that with 84% of the budget gone, that we are going to have enough money to run summer.
Thank you for the observation. If you notice, under the third column under encumbrances, Public Works has a very large encumbrance. Some of that is to cover expenditures through the end of the year. And so it is, it's not linear. You'll find that they've already encumbered some dollars for expenditures coming up, so they should be fine. On the public, on Parks and Recreation, I do believe that we need to, I noticed it as well, and I do believe we need to go in and liquidate some purchase orders that are no longer needed. But staff is already working on it, and we are abreast and on top of it. But thanks for the observation.
Thank you. The other question that I had was, I noticed that this is the second month in a row that there's no report for the Economic Development Department. Will we be able to get an update from them?
Yes, absolutely. So in response to some of the complaints that the report had become very long and voluminous, what we've been doing is staggering some of the departments. So when they come with their next report, you'll have a good body of information over the last 2 or 3 months. So we did that to condense the report because it had gotten to where it was close to 80 pages. And so if you'll notice, this report is quite a bit shorter. And we can share the schedule with you. So if there's something you want to know in between, we'll be happy to provide that to you during our one-on-ones.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Williams-Brown. Councilman J.C. Sebastian.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam City Manager, I have a question about Wilkinson Mill Park, and as I missed it in here, is there a recent update as to what we're doing with Wilkinson Mill Park? I know we talked about some things last year. I'm not sure how far we've gotten with that.
So, Councilman, we're close to being able to schedule a meeting with you. I think we should schedule with you before we schedule with the public around what we want in the park, where you want it in the park. Staff has reached out to me a few times, and I think it's time for us to go ahead and schedule with you and then with the community to talk about what the long-term vision is for the park.
Thank you much. And do you know if I think the Park Advisory Board, they have not really been meeting? I know my appointee reached out about possibly not serving anymore because they have not been meeting. And so I promised her I will check in to figure out when we can get some activity going with that group, because we're doing a lot of stuff in our parks. We should have that board as part of the community input to help us figure out, those things that we're doing with these parks.
Sure, I can follow up and get back to you on that.
Thank you.
You have a question? Response? Okay, I'll let you follow up. You want to yield to her? She had a follow-up to you. Okay. Well, let me go to Councilwoman Pritchett, and then we'll come back to you, Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. Madam City Manager, I'm saying this for the benefit of the seniors and the public who made these requests of me. And just as you have indicated that you would want a meeting with Councilman Sebastian, back when we discussed the police headquarters, and I made a request based on what the seniors and community members asked for, which was a community building so that the community can meet. And I think in a casual conversation last weekend, I discovered that that's not happening. And no one had a conversation with me. No one had, in a casual conversation, I should not find something out that now I have to look at residents and explain you're not getting this, and I have no idea who made this decision, and this is related to something that's in my district, which I really would appreciate the same courtesies as other council members are afforded. So I guess I want to understand how this happened for the benefit of the public and also for my own understanding.
So in actuality, when we looked at the scope of the project, and the amount of money that we were going to be able to afford, we programmed in the green spaces at both sites. And really were not able to do anything that wasn't public safety centric outside of those green spaces as a matter of affordability. As I shared with you, we have land acquired. Fulton County, we heard a lot about it today, is getting ready to do a very large health and human services venture in South Fulton that will include a senior center. It was really just a matter of affordability. And my apologies if we didn't bring you into the conversation at the appropriate time.
Well, I do appreciate that explanation, but in addition to all of that, the residents of District 7 feel like the red-headed stepchild that get nothing because I don't know where Fulton County plans to put the senior center, but I keep explaining to residents that we have 16 parks in this city. None of them lie within District 7. And people can use other parks. That's not a problem. But I would love to see something prioritized that people are asking for in District 7, like that community center. And if these conversations and negotiations happen, then somebody please consider District 7. We have land. We have lots of land in District 7. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pritchett. We will return back to Councilwoman Natasha Williams-Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. And I guess just a follow-up thought from Councilman Sebastian, and I know this is something that I've heard Councilwoman Rao say a couple of times in terms of us needing to review all of our boards and all of our commissions to ensure that they are active and they're functioning, because I've also been, one of my appointees has reached out to me about the Veteran Affairs and that he's not getting any communication from that, which I think I had already sent to the clerk, or maybe I imagined I did. I'll check and see. But in any event, do we need to take a vote as a council to get that underway? Can we just, Madam City Manager, put that on your plate and have that come back to us at the, well, we don't meet in June, at the July council meeting?
The budget.
Or the budget, or at some point, can we get this done so we're not we don't keep hearing that boards are not meeting and people aren't being communicated with?
Okay, I think the clerk wanted to respond to your question before we take that consensus.
Yes, I was just letting the city manager know that this is an appropriate time to address this issue. As many of you know, in January, I think I sent the appointees, boards and commissions report, which outlined your appointees for the various boards. There has been a push in the first quarter with the departments to convene the various boards, because there are some that haven't met in over 2 years. In particular, I would like to address the Parks and Rec Department. They did, I think in February or March, try to schedule a meeting, and they said some of the appointees didn't respond to them. So I told them what I was going to do is send a group communication to you to just check in with your appointees to make sure they still wanted to serve. Regarding Veterans Affairs, I don't know if I missed that. I think I did get that, and they actually met in February, I think was the last meeting. Yeah. Yeah, they met in February. So if there's any other, there are a couple other boards that are still in the convening process, but that was one of the processes we were coming up on in June to give you quarterly reports in terms of the boards and commissions. So with regard to parks, I think there's some efforts to get that done. Veterans Affairs, I know they have met recently, and but I'll send an updated report to each of you to see if any further action is needed.
And maybe in the budget retreat, we can set aside some time in July to, I guess, look at those boards to see what is ready to sunset. If not, which boards we want to keep moving. So let's put that as an agenda item to talk about in July. And then the next quarter, we'll make sure that everything is on the up and up. Follow up.
So my follow-up to all this, at some point, we discovered that legally, all of the boards and commissions have to be created per ordinance. And has that been done? Have we retroactively gone back, city attorney's office, have we gone back to look at the list of all the boards and made sure that there is an ordinance for each board to make sure we're legally, properly establishing these boards?
I think that some boards have been with the ordinance. I think she did some of them. I'm not sure if all of them have been assessed, but that is something that we can ask our city attorney to make sure and to be prepared for our July meeting. All right, any other questions in the queue? All right, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
That brings us to presentations for this afternoon. The first presentation is a presentation regarding SB 33. It's the new property tax law, and will be presented by Mr. Ed Wall with Piper Sandler.
That better? Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. How y'all doing? So next page, please. So Senate Bill 33 was approved on sine die, last day of the session. Actually, it was approved on April the 3rd, which is the day after the last day. They went on to about 1:30 in the morning. And at 7 o'clock that night, House Bill 1116 that you all have been hearing about, it failed in the Senate 24-28. And we thought it was over with. And about 7:30, senators started sending me text messages and says, it ain't over with yet, Ed. And I reached out to Ms. Subadan, and y'all got this great lobbyist. He was working well with me named Andrew Long. And they said it's coming back up. They're stripping the language out of the marijuana bill, Senate Bill 33, and adding a bunch of stuff from House Bill 1116. And so Ms. Subadan gave me Andrew's text thing. I said, can you give me a copy of it? And he was able to screenshot copies of it, and I was able then to screenshot it to senators who they didn't have a copy of the bill. They didn't know what it was. And it was passed and went over to the House, and it was approved. Yesterday, the governor signed it. And so the particulars for that bill, if I can get it up, and I can't see that. I got it on my screen here. So, there you go. Thank you, sir. So it passed the legislature on April the 3rd, if you can see the first bullet point. The governor signed it yesterday. I did this presentation on Saturday, and he hadn't signed it yet. I put in here the third bullet point, the Georgia Municipal Association was neutral on the bill. I thought they ought to have been against it. One of the reasons they were neutral on it is the leadership of the House of Representatives, Speaker of the House, the Chair of the House Ways and Means Committee. This had some heavy hitters behind it, and so they didn't want to make them mad. Fourth bullet point, what is the main thing Senate Bill 33 does? It creates a new local homestead option sales tax. We call it LHOST. So all y'all familiar with LOST, the local option sales tax. We split that with the other cities in Fulton County and the county, and it reduces property taxes dollar for dollar. And it reduces everybody's property taxes, businesses, apartment owners, commercial, residential, and that's a LOST. Y'all are familiar with a T-SPLOST, Fulton County levies 0.75, not 1%, but 0.75 for T-Splosh. There's a SPLOST that Fulton County has never had, that the other 158 Georgia counties had. Well, this is a new 1 penny called a L-host, and the legislation raises the cap for sales tax from 8% to 9%. What does a L-host do? It's a new 1% sales tax to be split between counties and cities for property tax relief for homestead property first. So if you have a house and it's in a homestead exemption, you have all the exemptions that we at South Fulton give already. Those exemptions stay in place. If there's any other property tax that you owe to the county or to the city, this doesn't affect school boards, it's just for counties and cities, that number is reduced equitably among all homestead property as far as the L-host collections will go. If there's any money left over, then the L-host would go toward other property payers. But given all of the residential in a county the size of Fulton County with 1 million people in it, I would imagine the L-host will never get to any other property owners. It should be revenue neutral to you. It's only designed to replace property taxes with sales taxes. The key to that will be in the details. The L-host is collected by the state revenue commissioner, and they pay it to Fulton County. Fulton County is required under Senate Bill 33 to keep it in a separate account and let it earn interest. The tax commissioner will calculate how much money each homestead property will pay after the current exemptions are applied in Fulton County and each of its cities. And then the tax commissioner applies what was collected prior to July 1 to reducing those property taxes. And I've written here a little bullet point. I got to imagine that's kind of going to be tricky. You know, the tax commissioner is going to have to get new software to calculate all that. It's 1 million residents. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of folks all over Fulton County have a homestead exemption. The tax commissioner has to do that. All the cities and the counties have to get their millage rate to the tax commissioner by 1 September. If they don't, then the commissioner gets to assume what your millage rate is going to be based on what it was from the previous year. And so on my second bullet point, thank you for showing me how to do this. There you go, thank you. Yes, sir. The things I wanted y'all to consider, the sales tax rate in the city right now is 7.75%. Atlanta, Hateville, College Park, and East Point have that 1% most, which is for water and sewer, municipal option sales tax, but they're the only cities that have it. So what are the sales taxes in South Fulton right now? The state has 4 pennies, 4%. The school board has 1%. MARTA has 1%. You have that local option sales tax, the loss between the cities and Fulton, that's 1%, and T-Splosh is 0.75. So your current rate is 7.75%. And so this Senate Bill 33 adds the ability to have another 1% that'll push us to 8.75 for local homestead option sales tax. The things you all have to consider as you negotiate with the other cities in Fulton County and the county, how much sales tax is too much? Next one is what happens to T-Splosh renewal? That's coming up soon. Will voters turn down T-Splosh and pick a L-host? The other thing Senate Bill 33 did was everybody is automatically opted in to House Bill 581. Y'all remember all that rigmarole we went through last year? Well, now there's no opt-out. You are opted in. So since everybody's opted in, now all counties in the state are eligible for a FLOST. That's another 1 penny called a floating local option sales tax. It's like the LOST. It applies to all taxing classes, all tax-paying classes, not just homestead property. So it's just like the LOST. You can't have a L-host and a FLOST. You and the cities in Fulton County have to choose whether you want a FLOST or an L-host. The last bullet point, this new L-host doesn't take effect until after January 1, 28, and then you have to have an election. and there are only two dates for that election, March or May, the date of the primary in 28, and November 28. So y'all know in a week, maybe it's just 1 week, I think, we got an election for governor, and lieutenant governor, and legislators. Then in November is the general election between the Democratic or Republican candidate. So January 27, you're going to have a new governor, a new lieutenant governor, and a whole new legislature, House and Senate. What are the odds they're going to fool with this Senate Bill 33 in 27? So whatever I'm telling you today might be different in April of 27 after they come in there and fool with it. And so it doesn't take effect in January 1 of 28. And so we'll watch it in 27 to see what happens. But as you talk to your other leaders in other cities in Fulton County and the county itself, how much sales tax is too much? Do you want a FLOST or L-host? And what will it do to the T-SPLOST? And how do you time the election for the T-SPLOST? And the last thing I wanted to say was that the bill, Senate Bill 33, was much better than House Bill 1116. If you all remember, House Bill 1116 took away from local governments the ability to set your budget. You would have to take it to a voter referendum or a local act by the local legislators. All that got cut out when it got defeated at 7 o'clock on sine die. And what got added to Senate Bill 33, they had all that taken out. So it's a better bill than 1116, and it does give us an option for an L-host. But you're opted into House Bill 581, but you already had a homestead exemption that said that the property couldn't go up by more than 3% a year or inflation, and that's what 581 did. So the opting in of 581 really hasn't affected you. Mayor, questions?
All right, council, do you all have any questions? City manager, did you have something you wanted to share?
And you kind of glossed over House Bill 581, which we did opt into last year. But for the benefit of those listening and for a reminder to the council, and some of the council members are new, could you remind them what House Bill 581 does in terms of the existing millage rate?
You bet. So House Bill 581 completely redid a lot of the way you go about levying property taxes. And all of us as citizens, we get a tax assessment notice sometime in March or April, and then you all as the city and the school board and the county set a millage rate, and then we pay our property taxes in November, December. House Bill 581 mandated that the tax assessors has to get to you an estimated tax digest by March of each year, and you're supposed to do an estimate of what your millage rollback would be. And then you have to get the final tax digest in June or July and come up with the actual millage rate. And I think that is very confusing to citizens because people like Althea are having to figure out what the rollback would be based on an estimated digest in March, and it's not even going to be final till June. And so it's a lot of rigmarole to the citizens, and I don't think it helps improve anything. House Bill 581 says that homestead exemption property will not go up in value when you get a reassessment notice by inflation or 3%, whichever is greater. So if y'all notice today, the inflation came out at 3.8% because the price of gasoline and diesel is so high, it's really run it up. And so in a lot of my clients, the DeKalb counties, they've come out with their temporary digest, and it only went up 2%. So it wouldn't really affect this particular year in DeKalb. Have you got any temporary digest in Fulton yet, Althea? I haven't seen one. And so I don't know how it would affect that, but House Bill 581 would limit that portion of the digest. Why is that important to you? Your tax digest, the gross value is, let me pull it up real quick. I did it for Ms. Subiden the other day, and I can't remember now what the exact numbers are. Is it $5 billion? Give me just 1 second. Billion. The point I'm going to be making is about 60% of your tax digest is residential. And you already gave your residents a big homestead exemption. And so your gross tax digest, the way it works, remember, is all the property is valued at 100% of fair market value. And then the assessed value is 40% of that. And then you all levy a millage rate on the 40% value. With a 40% value of all the property in City of South Fulton is $8 billion. That's the gross digest. There's 972 exemptions to get to the bond digest. That's for general obligation, voter-approved bonds, and that's $7 billion. And then there's $2.2 billion of exemptions for the M&O digest. That stands for maintenance and operations. And your M&O digest is $5.7 billion. So every 1 mil in the City of South Fulton raises $5.7 million. Now that's the 25 digest. We don't have the 26 yet. So let's go back up and look. What is the residential number? What percentage of residential is in your gross digest? Your gross digest was $8 billion. The residential was $5.15 billion. That's about 60%. Of that $5.15 billion, you exempt nearly $3 billion of it already. And so I think the Republicans in the legislature were trying to give property tax relief to homeowners, and it's kind of piling on for you because you'd already done it. Well, you're a new city. You got created in 17. You did it already. Anything I left out, Ms. Superintendent? Yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Natasha Williams Brown is in the queue.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ed. This may be asking for a lot, but is it possible to perhaps get some modeling forecasts for these different scenarios so we could see what some potential numbers could be based on all of this.
So the answer is yes, but let me tell you a little bit about that. So any of y'all ever call the Fulton County tax assessor, and it's hard, you can't hardly get nobody on the phone, and then they don't ever call you back. And so the way I would model the numbers, you know how a lost, you get a percentage based on your population. Well, L-host is just allocated by the tax commissioner on all homestead property. So I need from the tax assessor and the tax commissioner, all of Fulton County, the 15 cities in the county, how much is homestead property, how much in exemptions do they all give now, how much is left, and then I know that the sales tax in Fulton County, I know what it raises, how much of that will reduce property taxes. And so if it was up to Althea and me, I'd give you numbers in the morning, but I have to have the cooperation of the tax assessor and the tax commissioner. And so I represent a lot of cities in Fulton County already. They've asked me the same thing you're asking, and I know we'll get you the numbers as soon as we can, but it's not totally within my control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rao.
I wanted to say what she said, but I want to even take it a step further, because if we're talking about compounding this problem, and I understand we really don't know what it might look like. The exemptions that we currently have, can we afford them and maintain what we've projected? It does not sound like, it's just envelope math. You don't have to be a rocket science. So I'm trying to figure, how soon do you think, because I'm sure other cities are asking for the
And so
same information.
Right, so if I could, I'll interrupt you just a wee minute. This L-host is designed to be revenue neutral to you. But the reason why what y'all asking me is so important, the tax commissioner is going to be calculating for you how much of your property taxes the L-host is going to pay. And then he'll send out the tax bills, because you hire the tax commissioner to send out your tax bills. And so it'll be minus whatever the property taxes that L Host is supposed to pay. He sends the tax bills out in maybe September. 30 days after, according to Senate Bill 33, 30 days after the tax bills are mailed, they tell Fulton County to send you a check for the L Host that replaced the property taxes and how much to send. So the tax commissioner tells Fulton County how much to send you 30 days after the tax bills are mailed. Well, it's going to be incumbent upon Althea and me and Ms. Subadan to make sure that that number's right. In other words, we won't know till we get the L Host check and then figure out what the property taxes were sent out if those two numbers match. So we can't just trust that it's going to work out. But the way the law is drafted, it should be revenue neutral to you, and it's just simply substituting sales tax for property tax.
Okay.
And so it's nothing that you all can have input on, I don't guess, because the legislature does it. But, you know, sales tax is a regressive tax. It's the poor people pay it. The rich people are getting the break on property taxes. You take $5-6 million houses, they could pay zero. But the poor fella on fixed income buying groceries is going to be paying an extra 1% sales tax. And so it's very regressive. I think Tennessee may have a 9% sales tax, and we'll be at 8.75. And so they also don't have an income tax. We have an income tax. And it's just a wholesale shift of the burden of financing local governments from property tax to sales tax. But it's designed to be revenue neutral. It should not cost us any money.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman J.C. Sebastian, you're in the queue.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a quick question. I'm still very uneasy whether we know all what we have here in the city, and whether we are fully aware of the totality of businesses. I've always been uneasy about these boundaries. Ms. Subadan, do we have a way of checking that tax digest against anything that we have, like in CDRA, to make sure that cities around us are not getting some of our tax money?
Well, we use the GIS. We certainly could do a run on the GIS with the parcel numbers to ensure. I think we've done it a few times. Feel pretty confident that the number of parcels and the value of the number of parcels are okay. The big challenge I think we have is the value of the parcels. And that becomes kind of a more of a political assist with the assessor. Now, the chair of the county has called for an audit. I don't know that we've seen the results of that yet, but all 15 cities in the county are complaining about assessment, and assessment generally being low. And with all of these new, especially on commercial property, and all of these new tax laws that are getting passed, it hurts us exponentially. We also have a problem with commercial businesses appealing their assessment, and the assessor just sort of says, okay, which impacts all of us who receive property tax, both us, the county, and the school board.
And this is just a comment, and as I give her the mic, we are now into 2026. I haven't heard anybody around here talking about preparations for the 2030 census. That's a problem, really. And I'm hoping that us as a city, as the second largest city in Fulton County, that we can do something to get on this soon, because it is in our best interest to make sure that every single person who lives in the city of South Fulton is properly counted. Because based on what's happening at the federal level, they're not going to care whether we get the census correct or not. But we are going to be depending on a lot of the monies that we get based on that census count being accurate. So I hope we can put our brains together and try to figure out how we're going to ensure that the city is properly counted for the 2030 census.
And so if I could, Mayor, just to comment about what Councilman Sebastian was talking about. So your commercial property tax digest is 1.6 billion. Your industrial tax digest is 1 billion. So there's a fellow named Julian Benet. He used to be on the, I think the Invest Atlanta board, or maybe it was the Fulton County Development Authority, I forget which. But he was sort of this citizen activist sort of fellow, and he did this study, and he said he took 200 commercial properties in Fulton County, and I guess Atlanta, and they had sold in the previous year. And he compared the sales price to what the tax assessor had it valued at, and the assessed value was like 10% of what it actually sold at. So the odds are that 2.6 billion of your digest is half of what it ought to be. So that's your point.
All right, well, thank you so much. We know we still have work to do. We appreciate your time, and
Thank
we'll
you,
be
Mayor.
talking very soon. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Yes, ma'am. The next presentation is the SFU Connect's presentation. This will be presented by Shaheen Solomon, Director of Department of Public Affairs.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening. How to work this left, right? Trying to figure out how to work this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this afternoon, I'm excited to introduce SFU Connect, the City of South Fulton's new citywide communication and mass notification system. This initiative is designed to strengthen how we communicate with our residents, businesses, and visitors in real time. As one of Georgia's largest and fastest growing cities, our communications infrastructure must evolve with the needs of our community. So SFU Connect is more about text messages. It's about building trust, improving responsiveness, increasing transparency, and ensuring that our residents stay informed, prepared, and connected. Let's see here. I just learned how to do this. There we go, okay. SFU Connect was developed to close communication gaps and create a more direct line between city government and the public. Residents today expect information immediately, whether that's related to public safety, road closures, severe weather, or important community updates. This platform allows for the City of South Fulton to communicate quickly, professionally, and strategically across multiple channels. So this initiative is essential for several reasons. First, it strengthens transparency and public trust. Residents want timely and accurate information directly from their city government. Second, it helps reduce misinformation. During emergencies or fast-moving situations, rumors can spread quickly online. SFU Connect allows the city to become the trusted source of information. Third, it improves emergency responsiveness, whether it's severe weather, outages, public safety announcements or concerns, and emergency notices. Residents will have this right in their hands. So there are two pillars to SFU Connect. It will include emergency notifications in the first phase, and the second phase, fall 2026, to potentially expand to citywide events. At this moment, the system is built around two core communications functions. The first is non-emergency communication. These are the everyday updates that help residents stay informed about the city life, things like road closures, citywide meetings, trash schedule changes, surveys, and city initiatives. The second is emergency communication. This includes severe weather alerts, evacuation notices, police advisories, major utility outages, and urgent public safety information. So the system is powered by Civic Plus, of which Corey uses every day for his announcement information to you all. And it is widely used at various municipalities across the country. One of the strongest features of this system is GIS integration, which allows for us to target notifications geographically. For example, if there is a water outage or road closure impacting one area, we can communicate directly with only those residents affected in that community. This platform also supports multiple communication methods, including text messaging, email notifications, voice calls, and mobile communications. So this slide highlights the communication workflow process behind SFU Connect. Every message goes through a structured process to ensure accuracy, professionalism, and consistency. Messaging is first drafted, then reviewed and finalized through the Department of Public Affairs. Appropriate templates are selected, recipients' groups are verified, delivery methods are chosen, and messaging is monitored after distribution. So this process is designed to be simple and accessible for residents. Throughout the city, QR codes will be placed on promotional materials, social media, city facilities, and at community events. Once scanned, residents can quickly register for SFU Connect. During sign-up, residents will be able to customize the types of information they want to receive, from emergency alerts and public safety updates to traffic updates and citywide events. They can also choose how they want to receive notifications, whether by text message, email, or phone call. If you guys realize, we're doing a lot of branding around SFU and SFU Connects. Several months ago, if not over a year and a half ago, we found out that our brand was not trademarked. So we trademarked both our logo, our seal, and the word SFU. So from a branding perspective, we wanted SFU Connect to feel modern, approachable, and recognizable. The design direction is mobile first because the majority of our residents and users interact on the platform with their phones. So here you'll see an example of some informational pieces, flyers, and social media content. These are designed to inform the community of the initiatives, its goal, and how they, as the community members, can be informed, prepared, and connected. Examples of billboards, our You Are Here campaign that recently ran over a 6-month period scored over 3.5 million impressions. We're expecting this particular board run to have about the same impression impact across our city as well. Examples of posters to be placed in facilities throughout the city of South Fulton and businesses. These will also feature QR codes for people to readily sign up for these in our facilities across the city. So the first phase of the campaign focuses on public awareness and visibility. The goal is simple. We want residents to know that SFU Connect exists and understand why it matters to be a part of the campaign. So the rollout will include press releases, website banners, pop-ups, QR codes, billboards, you name it, we got it. Once residents sign up, the next priority is maintaining engagement and building long-term trust in the platform. The phase focuses on sustaining the connection between the city and the community. We'll implement welcome messaging, ongoing reminders, and annual reporting that highlights how the system has helped the residents stay informed. So the slide outlines the implementation timeline. Even though the training and development was much longer than the winter, there was a phase of training and integral development to ensure staff understood the system and communication protocols. The next phase included testing and pilot implementation. And then we also have, with the public affairs, our department has recommended that we launch this summer. At its core, SFU Connect is about empowering residents through communication. Rapid alerts improve public safety. Transparent communication builds public trust. Consistent engagement strengthens community relationships. When residents feel informed, they feel connected to our city government. The initiative helps reinforce the city of South Fulton as being responsive, modern, proactive, and focused on serving the community effectively. SFU Connect represents the future of communication for the city of South Fulton. This is more than a technology platform. It is a commitment to transparency, preparedness, responsiveness, and community engagement. It positions the city of South Fulton as forward-thinking and understands the importance of direct communications with its residents. I am subject to your questions.
Well, thank you. First of all, this is very, very exciting. Great work. I think South Fulton is moving towards the future. So, you got a lot of questions. You ready?
I am.
All right. Councilman J.C. Sebastian.
Thank you so much, Director Solomon. I am very happy for this. Now I get to stop texting Dr. Cooper on the weekends whenever there's a boil water advisory that no one hears about. So my question is this. First question, the QR code here, I tried to sign up. That's not the real one, right?
That is not the real one.
That's
We're
not
recommending lunch this summer,
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, but are we going to send a mailer, especially to the older folks, by the way, we, for those who haven't heard, we are teaching some of our seniors how to use this modern technology. I think classes started 2 weeks ago at Cliftondale Park and at City Grove Fire Station 6. But are we going to do something specially for our seniors? Because, you know, this will be out there and they're all social media and every place, and they're all like,
We realize
plus there's a lot of mistrust around QR codes now. So we have to make sure we communicate it in a way that people can trust it, you know? So those are my questions.
Understood, Councilman. We understand that a majority of our legacy residents don't have access to social media. So it would be beneficial for us to send out a mailer campaign to be able to reach them with a QR code. Great suggestion, yes.
I always say that you don't know how many seniors are on social media.
Yes.
It's a lot of them. And they may not know how to use it, but they on it. Councilwoman Linda Pritchett.
Thank you, Mayor. So this sounds really exciting. However, will this mirror our city's website?
So the purpose of SFU Connect is to update the community in a time of need and urgency. So whether there's going to be a road closure, whether there's going to be a fire, whether there's a blockage of any sort, we have public safety officials who will be communicating through the platform, public affairs will be communicating through the platform. It will not replace the website. It will mimic the website, of course, based on information that's being provided and flyers that have been shared. So yes.
So this is similar to like Clayton County's Nixle.
The sheriff has access to Nixle in Clayton County. So that's almost the
Nixle-
same
Nixle
platform,
is a
yes.
platform for
And our
updating.
residents have to actively engage this portal and sign up themselves. We can't add numbers into it.
Okay, so they have to go to it.
Yes.
Download the app.
Now download the app, scan the QR code, which will take them to our website, where they'll be able to sign up to receive notifications. There is no app. It comes to your phone through text messaging.
Like Fulton County, okay. So a few things, so what mechanism do y'all have to keep up with all this? Like y'all hired new people, or who's doing this?
No, city manager hired us. So our department will manage it. And so there's a workflow process in place. With public safety, we have fire will have access to be able to update the items that are happening with fire. Police will have access to update the things that are happening with police. But public affairs ultimately controls the dash. We'll be reviewing and controlling all information that comes through and approving that information as well for consistency and brand.
So with that being said, there's a designated person in each department that has anything to do with something that can be a potential issue. So there'll be a designated person for this
Yes.
from each department.
Not from each department. It is not to update the community about departmental events. They're citywide events.
No, I don't mean by events. What I mean is emergency situations. So, okay, because I did present something to ACM Davis about being broadband ready. And all it needed was a designated person in our IT department. And for some reason, it wasn't a great idea. Well, for some reason, it's on the shelf because I guess there's some hesitancy about designating a person. And so going in that direction, I have some new housing in my district. And what I discovered is that in instances where I have called 911 to report something, some of those street names do not show up in Fulton County's GIS. I don't know where they show up. I don't know what the issue is. So I really want to make sure that our GIS is up to date, like Fulton County's and ours mirror, because Fulton County has no idea what I'm talking about when I mention a name and I'm looking at the street sign, and I wish I could take a picture and text it to them. But that's a problem for South Pine off of Oakley Industrial that has about 150 homes. And if something happens there, then you have to spend all this time trying to describe where you want somebody to respond to. So if we can make sure that those type of issues get updated on somebody's end, so that
We'll work
people.
with IT because the program does use GIS. And when people sign up for the software, they're asked to put their address in as well. So that way, if we're targeting specific districts, we're able to know where they are and where they're located. So we'll work with IT to see that that happens.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pritchett. Next, we'll have Councilwoman Catherine Rao.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a couple of questions. I know we have several apps that have operated in our city. I think the police department had the Guardian, and we've had, how do they work? Because I don't want it to be that we have these 500 apps. I would like everything to be in one place. If we had this app, I don't want to have another app.
So what this is a messaging system that works through text, phone, and email. And
So to just text out information.
it texts out however you like to receive the information is how it sends it to you. So if there's an event that happens in your community, like I said, there was a power outage or a downed tree or ice on the roads, we can geo-target your district because it's happening in your district and not cast it out of the entirety of the city. And so it's really going to serve as an emergency and a safety protocol for us when communicating with the residents.
Okay, so like storms, trees down road, okay.
Yes, and they can opt out at any time, but we don't want you to opt out, you see.
Right, I got it, so, okay, I got it. But that leads me to another question about, I know we have several apps, and I know a lot of cities are looking at similar things where it's one app that kind of is your go-to and you kind of get everything. And I do think we need something similar to that because, cultural fairs, I get emails from cultural fairs, Park and Recs has their page, code enforcement has their page. How do we make it so that you can look in one place and truly see what's going on? And there's always a lot going on in our city. Like, the residents should never be bored, literally.
Yeah. That's a good problem to have. We have so many events that are happening in the city. And it's going to be our job as public affairs to highlight specifically why this app why this messaging system is important. It's important for safety, it's important for knowledge, it's important for education and awareness. It's going to be our job as public affairs to inform the community of why they should actually be able to access this and sign up for the program and then be able to be better informed should an emergency happen in our community.
Okay, and just one follow-on. So you're naturally, communicate with residents right now. We have emails from the various events we have. We just had State of the City and, all these. Are you going to start with something? It seems like versus getting them to sign up necessarily, can it be a text sent out to say, hey, you've been receiving communication with the city. Can we put you on the SFU Connect platform or something like that? Because you have a lot of data right now. Maybe you don't have it in all the ways you want it. I don't know if you can tell, what district so that you can geocode and whatnot, but is that something you'll be able to do?
Yes, that's how you all will come into play. We'll be sending out information and details that will feature QR codes, informational pieces and flyers that you can put into your newsletters to be able to reach your constituents. We work also with our departments who have heavily engaged community members, cultural affairs, parks and recreation, the police department to be able to amplify our messaging as well. And that way we can get more people involved and signed up through that process.
Okay. But think about what I said about that, whatever, that one app that has everything.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I just want to check on one place and look for everything. And,
All right, thank you. And is there a possibility for it to create and convert to an app?
I'm not sure. I have to talk to IT about that. I know they try to make it, Civic Plus try to make it as engaging and as accessible as possible. And so the way that we have it is that it runs through Civic Plus. We're able to gather the information and analytics through that platform. And once it's sent out through email or if they reply back to it, we get messages back. I'm not really sure if it can convert into an app. I can ask about it, but I hadn't heard about that process yet.
All right. Okay. Councilwoman Kioshbill.
Thank you, Mayor. I just had a few questions. I know you mentioned that residents would have an opportunity to either opt in or opt out, but also to select which information that they would like to receive. And so that just brings a concern as far as if we're getting safety information. Are there ways that we can almost require them to receive certain information? And then would residents have the opportunity to go back in and maybe modify, say they didn't check a couple of boxes, but now they want information about community events or, fire or police and so forth? Or does it give the flexibility for residents to be able to log back in and make
Yes,
some
Mayor Pro
adjustments?
Tem, it actually does. And that was a concern that we had about the software initially. We thought about doing a phased tier into council events. As you know, we have so many events that are happening a year. We didn't want to inundate those people that signed up for the software with events. And so that's why we focused on phase one for it to be emergency contacts and things of that nature. We can require for them to have certain ones they sign up for, public safety, and emergencies, community emergencies, things of that nature. We could most likely make that a requirement as the priority, and then anything else you want to join, you can.
Okay. And I think my additional follow-up question would be, I know many of my colleagues mentioned about having information from various departments. Is that an option to possibly have where, as if I'm setting this up and sign up for this particular emergency response messages, maybe I just want information from fire and code.
Yes.
Maybe I just want information from fire, police, and code. I just want to, I think that would be an option versus, I'm not an app person. I'm not going to download any more apps, but I see her, and my younger is like, no more apps. So she gets it. But I think for, if we're trying to fill the gap and the need with our seniors and our legacy residents, they may not want to download an app. I think having it as an option may be something, but my mom's 77 and she's on everything. TikTok, Snapchat, well, it used to be Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and she comments. And so I think the QR code may be a better option, but we can also share the information in our newsletter. So, and I would love to see the information. I know you mentioned that there will be posters and billboards. I would love to see the information in Parks and Recreation, actually posted in all of our facilities,
Yes.
because that's
That
where
is
the
the
majority of
plan.
people are.
I know I was moving fast for time, but we are
Thank
going
you.
to place those inside of our facilities, yes.
Okay, and next is Councilwoman Natasha Williams-Brown.
Right. No, this is going to be quick because I just want to point out that emergencies have no time. And so if this system is going to be used to let people know about emergencies and situations, then the expectation is going to be that if a tornado's coming through at 1 o'clock in the morning, I expect to get a text message at 1 o'clock in the morning and not when everybody gets up the next day.
The best part about that, Councilwoman Williams-Brown, is that we have templates that are already available, and Fire has access to it. I've talked to Chief Chad Jones extensively about this, which is one of the conversations we had about getting information out at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're prepared for that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I don't see any additional questions in the queue. I am excited about this and ready for you all to get this going. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Next item is executive session if necessary.
It is 5 o'clock. Do you want to just go into the next meeting? All right. I will go ahead with unanimous consent. We will adjourn this meeting. All right. The meeting is now adjourned.
Meeting adjourned at 5:07 p.m.
Okay. Council, make sure you switch over to your next meeting in Civic Plus. All right, Mr. Clerk, I will call the next meeting, which is our alcohol license and zoning public hearing meeting for May the 12th, 2026 at 5 p.m. To order at 5:08. Please sound the roll.
It's a roll call for today's alcohol license zoning public hearing. The Honorable Captain of File, District 1.
Present.
The Honorable Aaron V. Johnson, District 2.
Present.
The Honorable J.C. Sebastian, District 4.
Here.
The Honorable Keosha B. Bell, District 5.
Present.
The Honorable Natasha Williams Brown, District 6.
Present.
And the Honorable Linda B. Pritchett, District 7.
Here.
And the Honorable Mayor Carmelita Gums.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Madam Mayor, that brings us to the first item, and I would like to note that we do have two cases. There was a case that was added late Friday after the agenda was published, but it was publicly noticed and included on an amended agenda. So the first item, alcohol license rezoning, variance, and modification cases for presentation and public hearing only. First case, KC 26-002. It's a public hearing, application by Mike Lee, care of We Partner Group LLC. Request rezoning from HE1 to CUP to develop 35 single-family homes on 15 acres at 4700 Welcome Road, located in City Council District 3. Staff recommendation was denial. Planning Commission recommendation was approval conditional.
All right. You want to go ahead before we open up the hearing?
Absolutely. Good evening. So KZ 26-002, again, the address is 4700 Welcome Road. And just to reiterate, staff is recommending a denial as we feel that the site plan submitted by the applicant does not meet the intent of the CUP zoning district. The Planning Commission recommending approval of the CUP with the R5 zoning regulations. So at the Planning Commission meeting, they asked what, if they didn't approve it with the CUP zoning district, what other zoning district closely relates. So off the cuff, I did tell them that R5 would be the most appropriate zoning district. Most of their lots on their submitted site plan had 7,500 square foot lots. And I'm sorry, they had 7,000 square foot lots, and the minimum for the R5 is 7,500. So again, you all can just take that when you look at their recommendation from the Planning Commission. But again, staff is recommending a denial. Should you all go with the Planning Commission recommendation, that will require the applicant to revise their site plan to have all the lots meet the minimum of the R5, which is that 7,500 square feet.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Is the applicant here? All right, please stand to the podium. All right, and I need to read this to you to open the public hearing. At this time, I am opening the public hearing for item 3A on the agenda. Sir, you have a total of 10 minutes to give your presentation. You do not have to use all of that time. You may want to reserve that time for rebuttal. Also, keep in mind that if the time allotted includes public comments from any of the citizens who are also in favor of your application, the same time granted for those in favor of the application must be given to the opposition, if any. You may proceed with your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Mark Burns. I am a strategic advisor for We Partner Group, so I'm representing the owner of the land. Our company purchased this land about 7 years ago, and with the intent to develop it at some point in time. We Partner Group is a woman-owned private equity company. We manage about $300 million in assets, be it commercial and retail. We have a very vast experience in ownership of properties, and our plan was to develop this into a residential community that would be add value to South Fulton. We started the rezoning process about, I want to say, almost 3 years ago to look and see what the opportunities were. There is a single-family home on that 15 acres. We got serious about that back in the end of the fourth quarter last year into January, and we partnered with a development company, Tributary, to help us determine the best use for the property. We initially submitted a request for a CUP, which would give us what we felt was the maximum number of lots that we could build on the property and still provide some land or grass or yard for our community. We held our public hearing back in the beginning of the year. It was very well attended. We did have questions. Which was good. We wanted questions. We wanted to understand what concerns could come up so that we could address them. There were some questions about buffers and whether we would put trees and things of that nature. We then had our zoning meeting, which the gentleman mentioned a few moments ago. We actually have had several meetings with the initial denial because they said we did not meet the CUP guidelines, which was correct. We went back and changed that a little bit to try to meet that requirement. We added a walking trail on that 15 acres, which is almost a 1 mile trail that would be used by the community. We then had the meeting back in April. Initially, we were denied, and then later we received notification that they had given us a conditional approval to an R5. What we're asking for is some variable between the two. The property or the community to one side of us is a R5, the community on the other side of us is a CUP. We're asking that so that we can maximize the number of lots, which would be 33, that one side of the community be rated at the R5 and the other at the CUP. That gives us about 34 lots that we can build on. If we maintain the R5, because of the 7,500 square foot requirement, and primarily the width, we will lose a number of lots. I think it would be 30 lots. I will just say in closing, we're good people. We want to build a nice home. The homes that we are designed to build on that property, we think are going to add value to that area of Welcome All Road. We feel like it will be a home that the people and residents of the community will want to buy.
All right, thank you. Do you have anyone else here to speak in favor?
Yes, Ms. Veronica Lee.
Good afternoon. Like you said, my name's Veronica. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
It's a little high for me. I work for Tributary Homes, Tributary Real Estate Group. Mike Lee was here last time. He is at the Georgia Home Builders Association event. He's on the board. We're based out of West Georgia. We would love for anybody to come see the product that we build. We build beautiful, well-built, really good quality homes. Some of the houses that we would propose building on this property we're building currently at a new neighborhood in Carrollton, Georgia, called the Overlook at Oak Mountain. There are 2-story homes, 2-car garage, ranging from about 1,800 square feet to 2,100 square feet. Great homes that we really think would add value to this community. As Mark mentioned earlier, we did go in and add the walking trail, some areas that the homeowners would be able to enjoy the property, have some green space. We think that's important, especially now. It's good to have those kind of amenities for the community. We did initially start with the CUP zoning, and the maximum amount of lots was for 75. Mark mentioned that they tried rezoning this property several years ago, and that group was trying to go for the 75 lots. It didn't work out, so we initially proposed 35, which we thought was a very good difference from the 75 originally, especially with keeping that green space. So we're at the 35 lots with the CUP. This mix between the CUP and R5 brings us to 33 lots. And so we still think that's a great adjustment compared to the 75 that would be allowed with the CUP. The other thing I'd like to mention is there's a creek on this property, and with us keeping the lots at the front of the parcel, we are not going to do anything to cross the creek that would cause a lot of development to protect that. We would have a little bridge going over it so the community can access the walking trail and things of that nature, but we won't be doing anything that would drastically affect the creek. We wanted to keep that protected there. So 33 lots compared to a larger amount, and we think that we can bring a great product to the community.
Thank you very much. All right. Do we have any opposition?
No, ma'am, we did not receive any cards in opposition to this case.
All right. At this time, I will be closing the public hearing and we'll take questions from council. And right now, we have a vacancy in District 3. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Okay, there we go. All right, Councilman Sebastian.
Hi, thank you guys for your presentation. I just want to get some clarification. I think I heard staff said that you guys are in between a couple of different zoning categories, right? And in order to match the existing, what by right should happen there, you'll need a further reduction in the number of homes. Can you clarify that for me? Because I'm hearing these different numbers, 35, 33, right? So,
Yeah, it's been a bit of a fuzzy math over the last 3 or 4 years. We started out at 75 way back when, and then we determined that that really wasn't a realistic. What we're asking for now is 33 lots, which would allow us to have a CUP requirement on one side of the street and an R5 requirement on the other side. We then match our neighbors on each side. If we do strict R5, we will have 30 lots. But we feel like we could be, and we have to also keep in mind that if we can get to 33 lots, we reduce the land cost and we're able to spend more on the home itself and make a better home for the value that we're giving to our buyers.
okay, for me, it would have been nice to see some pictures of the products. I always look for that because that's what our residents look for. What are they building there? How
We
does it
presented
look and how
those
much
at
it's
the
gonna cost?
zoning, the planning meeting, pictures of the products themselves. I do have that. Be happy to show you if you.
Can you make sure they get submitted to the clerk's office so they can distribute?
Yes, I'd be happy to,
electronically?
but this is the kind of the
Yeah.
product that we would, yes. I was under the impression that you guys had that, but I'll be glad to get that to you.
Okay. Yeah, please pass them over to the clerk so we can get copies of those. Thank you.
Yes.
Next in the queue would be, I think, Councilwoman Pritchett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, from what I just heard, you're saying that half of the development you want to be R5 on one side of the street and CUP on the other side of the street. So, also for the clarity of everyone listening, you mentioned something about a denial. These are recommendations. A denial has not happened, or an approval has not happened. So, and this may be a staff question, if this is what they're trying to do, then why don't they split the parcels where one side, configure the parcel to split it so one side, as he's saying, would be R5 and the other side, I don't even know, to be honest, CUP is not a zone. I get confused on CUP. So if you can clarify it's not like you can tell them what they should do, but based on what they're trying to achieve, I'm trying to understand what they should do so that it could line up properly with the future land use plan. Because if you have R5 on one side, other R5s on one side and the CUP on the other side, we just want to make this right if this is something that anyone is willing to entertain. So if it was to be right, how would it be right? How could you make it right?
Absolutely. So just to clarify a few things, where this is the first time of us hearing where there will be a split between the CUP and the R5. To clarify, the Planning Commission's recommendation was to rezone it to CUP with the R5 zoning regulations. And again, that was to give them kind of a hand so they wouldn't, their recommendation wouldn't be a denial outright. So we don't recommend doing a split zoning between CUP and R5. The Planning Commission's recommendation was to do a CUP with the R5 zoning regulations. That will essentially be a CUP zoning, but they follow the R5 zoning regulations. Our recommendation, again, is a denial because their site plan does not meet the intent of the CUP. I can highlight 6 elements of the CUP zoning, so you all are familiar with them just for the record. So the first one is to encourage the development of large tracts of land as planned communities. Number 2 is to encourage flexible and creative concepts in site planning. Number 3 is to preserve the natural amenities of the land by encouraging scenic and functional open areas. Number 4 is to provide for the efficient use of the land. Number 5 is to provide a stable residential environment compatible with the surrounding residential districts. And number 6 is to protect the neighboring properties by requiring large peripheral lots adjacent to larger lot developments. Again, as the speaker mentioned, their site plan, he said it himself that they're trying to maximize the number of lots and do between 33 and 35 lots. Unfortunately, that's not the intent of the CUP zoning district, so that's where our recommendation of a denial stands.
Thank you. And so, sir, you understood what he said?
Yes, I do. And we are fine with the CEP R5. We were just hoping to get a few more lots so that we can maximize that space. But we very much understand what the requirements were and the steps, and we tried to meet that by adding that trail, walking trail in the community. We're not trying to avoid those needs.
So for staff, based on, I know that you all make your recommendation on the front end, but since we're on the back end and he's saying what they are willing to do, would it meet the requirement if they did if they are willing to do what you just said, would it meet the requirement?
So we actually met with them after the planning commission meeting when the planning commission did a deferral, and they came back with the adjustments to the rear of the lot that added the walking trail. But again, we still felt that the entire site plan still did not meet the intent of the CUP zoning district. So even though that they added a few walking trails, that's still not what the CUP zoning district calls for.
So it just seems to me that there is still a gap somewhere or a disconnect, and that probably, if it's possible or if it makes sense, that some more conversation or something else needs to happen. But thank you, I yield.
All right,
Do you care if I say a few words?
sure, you can come to the podium.
I just wanted to speak to some of the concerns that have been brought up.
Madam Mayor,
Wait, this is not a hearing, though. I just want you to know.
and please state your name for the record, please.
Okay. I'm Brian Howell with HRC Engineers. Thanks for having me tonight.
And you responded to her? Councilman?
Yes, sir. Some of the concerns that were brought up from the staff in regards to not meeting the intent of the CUP. I just wanted to kind of go over in more detail on how we met some of those with our most recent site plan. So one of the items was mentioned that the intent of the CUP zoning district is to encourage development of large tracts of land as planned communities. So the requirement for this is 10 contiguous acres. Our property is 15 acres, which exceeds this requirement by 150%. Another one was to provide a stable residential environment compatible with the surrounding residential areas. So we're proposing a single-family detached residential subdivision that's compatible to the adjacent single-family residential neighborhood, which is to the north and to the south of us. The proposed density is actually less than both of these surrounding developments. In addition, the plan incorporates meaningful open space on the other side of the creek, like we've discussed, which preserves natural vegetation and reflecting the aesthetic and environmental qualities in the adjacent communities. Another concern was protect neighboring properties by requiring larger peripheral lots adjacent to the larger lot developments. So what we did with this latest CUP, and this is a CUP zoning with R5 zoning regulations. We're not trying to go for CUP and R5 zoning at the same time. but there's no specific lot size requirement in the CUP, but we are basically, the lots to the south, we're within 300 square feet of those lots that are existing. The lots to the north, we're going with R5, which was recommended by the staff, which is 7,500 square foot lots. One of the other concern was the area east of the creek is labeled as common space, but it's unclear how the homeowners would be able to access the common space as it is on the other side of the stream. So what we've done is provide access from our cul-de-sac across the creek via pedestrian bridge, and we've got a trail that traverses what would be technically undisturbed other than the walking trail. And also to mention the open space, and as far as how much of the land we're actually disturbing, I would say it's close to half, maybe a little more than half the land that will be technically disturbed. So I just wanted to provide a little bit of clarification on those items.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rao.
Question for the staff. I think on page 6, I just want to make sure if I'm looking, is the site plan the most recent one? This one, I see the stream, and I see another section above it that doesn't have anything laid out on it from what I can see. Is this where we are now? Is this the most recent version?
You said on page 6, correct?
6 of 9. And then my follow-up question, if R5 was the conversation you had with the developer, what would be the maximum houses on this site?
So I was just wanting to do a point of clarification on that. We did not recommend R5. We recommended a denial. The planning commission recommended the R5.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. And I believe that is the most up-to-date site plan that you're seeing on page 6.
Okay. So if the, okay, I have another question. So based on the future land use for this area, what is the maximum number of homes that will be allowed?
I will need to look that up. Give me 1 second.
And-
Suburban neighborhood, so that would be, under this application, that would be up to 4 units per acre, up to 3 or 4 units per acre. But that's at the time of application. As you all know, we just updated the comprehensive plan, so right now technically it's larger, but at the time of this application, I would say it would be up to 4 units per acre.
4 units per acre.
Mhm.
So
I'm sorry, it's 3 units per acre.
three,
Yes.
okay, so like the R3, okay. So 45. Okay, I don't have any further questions.
All right. Thank you so much. Applicant, we will be hearing this case. If you all are not able to get to the point, we will be hearing this case, I believe,
May 26th.
May 26th. So the council will vote at that time. Okay. Thank you for being here. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
That brings us to Roman numeral 4, walk-on items. Case M26-002, located at 07000 6200 6190 Coweta and 4675 Dodson Road. By Baden Court Construction LLC, Carabato Law, is requesting a modification to a site plan associated with zoning case Z25-020, the CUP district, to reduce the minimum lot size to 6,600 square feet and remove multiple lots from the 75-foot stream buffer and required buffers areas around the perimeter of the property to develop 293 single-family detached homes on 130.19 acres. This is located in City Council District 4. Staff recommendation was approval.
Council, if there's no objections, we will approve walk-on item 4A as sounded. No objections?
It's still it's a public hearing.
It's a public, I know,
Yes,
I'm about to read it. But it's a walk-on item, though. Okay. All right. You want to give your brief?
Yeah, absolutely, a brief presentation. So again, this item, this rezoning came to you all in the fall of last year, there were some lots that were identified that were in the stream buffer, and our ordinance prohibits development within the stream buffer. So the applicant applied for a modification to 2E for the minimum lot size, and that lot size went from 9,000 to 6,600 square feet. Again, staff is recommending approval.
All right, is the applicant here? I do see. All right, let me read this to you. At this time, I'm opening the public hearing for item 4A on the agenda. Ma'am, you have a total of 10 minutes to give your presentation. You do not have to use all of that time. You may want to reserve any time for rebuttal. Also, keep in mind the time allotted for public comments for any of the citizens who are also in favor of your application. That same time is granted for those in favor of the application must be given to the opposition, if any. You may proceed.
Thank you. Michelle Battle with Battle Law, 3562 Habersham at Northlake, Tucker, Georgia, 30084. As staff has indicated, we were able to obtain the approval of this application unanimously last year. After the client began working with their engineer to prepare the plat, they realized that a number of the lots were located within the buffers. The land development code actually prohibits that, not the zoning ordinance, which we were not aware of. And so as a result, we had to go back and modify the site plan. What I will tell you is that we started out with 293 lots. We are now actually down to 286 lots in order to achieve that. Additionally, while the minimum lot size is 6,600 square feet, we are actually at an average square footage of 8,873. So as you can see, we were not doing this in a way to obtain more lots or more units. We were simply doing this in order to make sure that we are in conformity with the requirements under the Land Development Code. The plan in front of you just shows where the property is located off of Coweta near Dotson Road. This is the site plan. Basically, it is the same identical site plan that was approved last year. Again, you can see that we are at a density of 2.20. That is actually less than what we were approved at because, again, we lost lots. I believe that's 7 lots. I'm not a mathematician, but I think I got that right. Let us hope. And so we do have fewer lots that are shown, and you can see also the minimum lot size along with the average lot acreage. So we are hopeful that this is a very de minimis request. We are now out of the buffer areas along the entire perimeter of the site, inclusive of the buffers for the Cliftondale overlay, as well as the buffer that applies because we are adjacent to property outside of the jurisdiction. And that will all be owned by the HOA and maintained by the HOA as required under the county's, under the city's ordinance. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have anyone in favor of the application?
We did receive, in addition to Ms. Battle, we had Stephen Ficara and Herman Spearman. I don't know if you're with the applicant or you wish to, okay, they're with the applicant. And we did not receive any comment cards in opposition.
All right, well, that's easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sherman was out.
Okay.
I'm in opposition.
All right, please come to the podium. Please state your name and your address.
My name is Herman Spearman. I live at 6170 Coweta Road. I am right next to 6190. And if you would go back to the map, I would like for you to see my lot size on Coweta Road. And that's my opposition. I moved there in 2001. And I moved there because it was peaceful and quiet, and it was natural. But now what's happening, and most of the properties on that street are probably, I'm going to average 5 to 8 acres, 10, but to take that space and bring in that amount of homes is not fair to the current residents. I mean, if you would add lot sizes that are the average of those that are existing and those that face Coweta Road, that would be more fair. But now it seems as if it's all about the money. You can make more money with more houses on the lot, on those lots. But then what about me? What about me? So I just take whatever you give because it's most profitable for you. What about my lifestyle? How about how I like to live? So now I just got to pack up and move. So be it. I mean, I don't have that many more years. I know I look like I'm 25. I don't have that many more years. Can I have my years in peace? I don't think that's too much to ask. Maybe you can still make money. You can still have a profit. But be conscious of people that live there currently. That's it. And what about the natural environment? We're going to see more deers laying on the side of the road. They got to live somewhere. That's a lot of acres of land that deers live there now. Rabbits, squirrels, geese, raccoons, they all live there. And then what about how's that going to affect that lake behind me? How's that going to affect that lake? There's going to be mud. They gave a permission for the subdivision down the road, said, okay, it's going to be all right when we put these homes up. Now, the lake is smaller because mud came down in that natural stream to the lake. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be mud. I mean, come on. I mean, just be fair to the current residents of Coweta Road. That's all I ask.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Spearman. Do we have any more?
No, ma'am, the applicant does have approximately 7 minutes left for rebuttal.
I will be brief. I certainly appreciate the comments of Mr. Spearman. What I would say is that this project, again, was already approved for 293 lots. That happened last year. We are not asking to do a new project. We are asking to make a modification that, quite honestly, will provide more protection along the perimeter, including adjacent to his property, because the lots will not extend to his property line. There will be green space that will be left around the perimeter and around the side that is adjacent to his property. That will not belong to the homeowner. It will belong to the HOA, will be maintained by the HOA, and be there to allow that privacy that he has. While growth is continuing to occur within this community, and it has already been determined based on the other developments that have come within this area, we are trying to do all that we can to make sure that we are preserving those areas. There are lakes on this property. That's part of the reason why we are also have been required to remove the lots that encroached into that space so that those areas can stay viable and environmentally sound. And so we are required to meet all of the requirements under the Land Development Ordinance. This was one of them, and so we came back to make sure. In fact, we volunteered the information that we didn't realize that we had encroached into it, and approached staff and said, look, we want to make sure that we get it right, and that's why we are back here. So that happened actually before we submitted anything. We came back and said, oh, we think that there was an error made, and so we addressed it and made sure that we brought that forth before not only the planning department, but also Councilmember Sebastian. So once again, we would ask for approval. We are not seeking to have more lots. We are actually reducing the total number of lots by 7 lots, and we are providing the protections around the perimeter of the property that are required under the Land Development Ordinance. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Battle. Okay, at this time, I am closing public hearing and will take questions from the council, starting with the district representative, District 4, Councilman Sebastian.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question for staff about the future land use designation for this property. What is it now, and what are we projecting it to be in the future once we adopt our new maps?
I need just a second to look that up.
Okay.
So if you have another question, we can look that up. We can look that up while you're
Yeah,
answering the question.
how will we, and I know this is not probably your department, but the concerns are expressed about the lakes, especially on this property. And we do have a lot of communities here in South Fulton with lakes on their HOA properties. I can think of the lakes in City Grove close to me. And those lakes are looked after, and they work with the state to make sure that those lakes are kept up well and not affected. So how would we ensure as a government that that doesn't happen, or is that strictly on the HOA?
All right, so the current, at the time of the application, the future land use was suburban neighborhood, which allows up to 3 units per acre. I believe the applicant has about 130 acres, so she could get however amount that maths out to.
Sounds like almost 400.
Correct. And they're only asking for 293, and then reducing it to around 286, 287. And then again, the future land use changed when you all approved the new future land use map at the April 28th meeting. And I believe that area likely stayed the same as suburban.
Okay. The reality is that we as a country, we have shortage of 5 million homes, right? That's a reality. We live in the suburb of Metro Atlanta. And I think any one of us who are up here, including the government, would say that we moved here because it was peaceful and it was quiet. We moved here before there was a city. But now we are a city, and we do have the responsibility to balance the needs of the community, the needs of the landowners, and the needs of the residents. I appreciate the comments that were made and the concerns, because they're legitimate concerns. But we do have improvements coming to Coweta Road, including the replacement of the bridge there on Coweta Road. We share that area with Union City as well, so we don't have total control over what happens there on Coweta Road. But rest assured, we have concerns over traffic and quiet and lighting and all of that, and we're addressing that as a government. Now, I have to say, so it's not going to happen overnight. So so give us some time and some grace. But we do have plans to make sure that area is better taken care of. One of the issues that we face out here in District 3 and District 4 is that years ago, the way our South Fulton Parkway was designed, there was some ulterior arteries that should have ran parallel to South Fulton Parkway, that when we were not a city before, and other folks made the decision that those roads are no longer there. So South Fulton Parkway and roads like Coweta Road are taking heavier traffic. So basically, we have to do what we can to mitigate the circumstances. But we also have a responsibility too, to be fair to the landowners, and also to provide more housing for our citizens when we're able to. Thank you. That's all I'll say.
All right, thank you, Councilman. All right, there are no further comments in the queue. Mr. Clerk, can you please sound the next item?
Brings us to executive session if necessary.
All right, if there is no objections, we will recess into executive session for purpose of litigation, real estate, cybersecurity, and personnel. I think we got them all. No objections? All right, we will adjourn for, or we will recess for executive session.
Recessed at 5:48 PM.
It looks like we have a quorum. If there's no opposition, can we please reconvene? Can we reconvene? All right. Mr. Clerk, were there any actions taken in executive session?
No, ma'am, there were no actions taken in executive session that requires a public vote.
All right. At this time, if there is no action and no objection to, there's no objection, we will now go ahead and move for adjournment. Mr. Clerk, we are adjourned at 6:57, and we will be starting our regular council meeting at 7 p.m. And council, can you make sure that you switch over to your regular meeting in Civic Plus? Thank you.
Thank you for joining us live for the City of South Fulton City Council meeting. We are proud to introduce the leadership entrusted with guiding our city forward. Mayor Carmelita Gomes, District 1 Councilwoman Dr. Catherine Rao, District 2 Councilman Aaron V. Johnson, District 4 Councilman J.C. Sebastian, Mayor Pro Tem Keosha B. Bell, District 6 Councilwoman Natasha Williams Brown, District 7 Councilwoman Linda Becker Pritchett. Supporting the work of this body in the operations of our city are City Clerk Corey Adams, City Manager Sharon D. Subadat, and Interim City Attorney Sarah Kelly. Thank you for being the best part of the City of South Fulton, a city on the rise.
All right, good evening, and thank you all for being here. We will officially call this meeting for our city council regular meeting to order for May the 12th, 2026. Mr. Clerk, can you please sound the roll?
It's a roll call for tonight's meeting. The Honorable Catherine F. Rao, District 1.
Present.
The Honorable Aaron V. Johnson, District 2.
Present.
The Honorable J.C. Sebastian, District 4.
Here.
The Honorable Keosha B. Bell, District 5.
Present.
The Honorable Natasha Williams Brown, District 6.
Present.
The Honorable Linda B. Pritchett, District 7.
Here.
And the Honorable Mayor Carmelita Gums.
Present.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. I want to take a moment to recognize Councilman Sebastian. He will be reading the civility pledge today.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. City of South Fulton Civility Pledge. The way we govern ourselves is often as important as the positions we take. Our collective decisions will be better when differing views have had the opportunity to be fully vetted and considered. All people have the right to be treated with respect, courtesy, and openness. We value all input. We commit to conduct ourselves at all times with civility and courtesy to each other.
All right, thank you, Councilman Sebastian. Each council meeting, we will have a council member read this civility pledge. We had our Mayor Pro Tem last council meeting, so they can all become very familiar with it, even though they already are. And you as the audience will as well. So, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
That brings us to Roman numeral 3, invocation by our city chaplain.
Thank you for standing. Let me just sing a little verse. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for Carmelita Gums. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for all these wise councilmen. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for Mayor Carmelita Gums. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for all these council members. As we lift our minds and hearts to the Lord. Heavenly Father God, tonight we pause with grateful hearts to thank you for the city of South Fulton, for the citizens, and for the privilege of serving this growing community together. Lord, we thank you for new leadership, for renewed order, professionalism, vision, and stability. We thank you for the Mayor Carmelita Gums and for her steady leadership and her experience and her commitment to the city from the very beginning. We thank you, God, for every council member, every city employee, contractor, public servant, every volunteer who works daily to make South Fulton stronger, safer, and better for all. Father, we acknowledge tonight that all is not perfect. There are still needs and challenges and vacancies and concerns and growing pains, but we are grateful for the progress that is being made. We thank you, God. We thank you for the improvements that we now see, for the restored order, for completed projects, for safer streets, for new developments and renewed hope throughout our city. Now, Lord, grant us, this mayor and council, the wisdom beyond human understanding. Give them discernment to make decisions in the best interests of our citizens and the future of our city. Let integrity lead every conversation, fairness guide every vote, and unity overcome division. Bless our police officers, first responders, city staff, attorneys, managers, workers, and every hand helping to make South Fulton the greatest city in the United States. Protect them, strengthen them, and give them grace for the work ahead. And Father, may the citizens of South Fulton continue to stand together with patience, support, and accountability, and hope as we move this city forward for better, for truly great. In your holy name, Amen.
All right, thank you to our chaplain. That was wonderful. This council, we all need any type of prayers that you can drop on us anytime. We are welcome. Thank you. Okay, never mind. Next, Mr. Clerk, can you please sound the roll? I mean, the next item.
Yes, ma'am. That brings us to Roman numeral 5, adoption of the council agenda. I did not receive any additions except for a correction to a title of a resolution which is on the consent agenda, sponsored by Councilmember Sebastian, a resolution proclaiming June as Men's Health and Wellness Month for the month of June.
All right, if there is no objections, we will adopt the agenda as amended. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Brings us to Roman numeral 6, approval of city council meeting minutes, regular meeting minutes, April 28th, 2026, work session minutes, April 28th, 2026, and alcohol zoning public hearing minutes, April 28th, 2026.
All right, if there is no objection, we will adopt this with unanimous consent without any corrections. All right, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Brings us to Roman numeral 7, consent agenda items A through G.
All right, if there is no objections, we will adopt the consent agenda with unanimous consent without any corrections. All right, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Brings us to Roman numeral 8, alcohol license rezonings, variance, and modification cases for motion and vote. We have one case this evening. It's a second read and request council approval of a zoning ordinance for case Z26-007, an application by Dorothy Crowley requesting rezoning from R3 in the Sandtown Overlay District with conditions to R3 to develop 18 single-family units on 13.82 acres at 2210 and 0 Wallace Road rear. This is located in City Council District 1. Staff and the Planning Commission recommend approval with conditions.
All right, if there is no objections to item 8A, this will be adopted by unanimous consent. Do we have any objections? Okay. Okay.
You have in front of you the staff conditions. For number 10, it should be, the home should be all exterior brick, stucco, or stone. And 12, that hardy plank or wood can be incorporated into the portions of the rear elevation.
On this item 8A is adopted by unanimous consent. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
That brings us to public comment. Speakers will be granted a total of 2 minutes each, and public comments will not exceed 30 minutes. Speakers will not be allowed to yield or donate their time to other speakers. Speakers must identify themselves and their addresses prior to speaking. Speakers may only address the presiding officer, shall observe all rules of decorum. No debate, disrespect, or obscenity shall be tolerated. The presiding officer shall rule any such individual out of order that fails to comply with the foregoing. Additionally, comments regarding zoning cases will not be heard for public comment. With that said, Madam Mayor and Council, we have two speaker cards that do not address zoning. We have Gary Bing, Congressman Scott's office, as well as Mike Johnson.
All right, please come to the podium.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening. Press the button.
Already pressed. Hello? Yeah. I'm Gary Bing from Congressman David Scott's office, and I just want to say thank you for all the proclamations and thing you did while we were funeralizing Congressman Scott, first of all. Secondly, this item needs to be recalled because of certain conditions that apply. The time limit that was allotted for this project.
Mr.
Not-
Bean, what item are you speaking of, just for clarity? Because we
speaking
can't
about the-
talk about zoning.
We're speaking about the houses that are being built.
Okay, that is a zoning item that we just voted on, so
Yes,
based
and-
on our rules, we are not able to discuss that item at this time.
Well, I'm only here for that item.
Okay,
I think the people should be represented that are electing these officials, and I think the people should be heard. These people vote for
understand.
you all to take care of them, and I think they should be heard in this situation before making votes.
I understand, but this is, and unfortunately, this is the second hearing. And
Yes.
this is the one where we actually have the vote and you all are not allowed to speak on the zoning issue. No one is
We
allowed.
weren't told that. I'm just hearing that.
Okay.
At the last meeting, I thought that's what they told us.
No, the item is to be voted on, but there's no other comments that are able to be made. So I apologize.
I do too.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bean. Mr. Johnson?
All right, Mike Johnson, District 4. So, basically, I want to get into the proceedings here. I listened to the chaplain say something about accountability. Yes. Getting into that accountability thing here, I hope when I'm not hearing word on the street that this particular board, speaking about Common Leader Gomes, is about to try to ask for a raise. I hope that don't happen, because this entire board struck down the last mayor for asking about a raise. So I'm hoping that don't happen, because if it do, I'm sure you're gonna get some pushback. But I want to get into this accountability as far as our taxpayer dollars here being spent within this city. They had a funeral that took place down in Savannah, Georgia, that took 9 of our officers away from this city for a period of time. And it cost us tens of thousands of dollars that involved the individual that was not even employed here at this city. It didn't involve a fallen officer. It didn't involve an employee of this city. Now, to take 9 officers down there and to be charged for me to be paying out of my taxpayer dollars, that type of money is unacceptable. Now, Madam City Manager, you were actually at the helm of this city at the time, and we would like a response on that, if you don't mind, as to how this thing happened. I'm gonna go back and address that piece that I talked about last week about Helen Willis receiving that money from Fulton County, the Inmate Welfare Fund. We all received that check on December the 3rd. Thanksgiving is in November. What did she actually do with that money? What did the city do with that money? Now, my thing is, she need to be held responsible to pay that money back. And I will continue to come in here and speak on it until we can see where that money is paid back. Thank you.
Okay, no, please make sure you refrain and be in decorum. Mr. Clerk, can you please sound the next item?
Next item is council comments.
All right, starting with District 1.
Thank you for recognizing me. I just want to take a point of privilege just to explain that what we experienced today is no different. This is the standard process for every zoning case. So I'm encourage people to get involved and really understand our process. I think that's really important. And I'll just say that. As it relates to my announcements for this week, on May 23rd at 10 a.m., we will be doing the District 1 cleanup with the Cascade BMA Community Cleanup, cleaning the commercial corridor. We also have the upcoming Chalk the Block Festival on Saturday, May 30th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be chalk art competitions, prizes, live art battles, and a bouncy house. If you didn't come last year, it's an amazing event, and it really showcased the talent we have in our community, especially with our young people. They did some amazing art. We have an upcoming volleyball clinic. The South Fulton Police Athletic League Girls Volleyball Club invites girls ages 9 to 17 to join the club at Sandtown Park on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. This program helps young athletes develop their skills, build teamwork, and promote physical fitness in a positive, supportive environment. We also want to make sure that you're taking advantage of your bulk trash days. I've been including those flyers in my newsletter. This is included with your basic solid waste fee, so please take advantage. You have to schedule that service, but they can pick up at your home. So I want to encourage you to do that. Look for the dates. They try to do it the Wednesday before the first Monday of the month, which is the pickup days for District 1 and 2, actually. Our Citizens Fire Academy take place on June 1st through the 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Fire Station 11, located at 4760 Fulton Industrial Boulevard. The Academy is a unique opportunity to educate the public about the fire service and provide insight into everyday fire department work through a hands-on approach. We really want to take advantage of that training. You know, we pray we don't have to deal with emergencies, but things happen. As you know, in our city, we've had a couple of tornado and emergencies, and we want to make sure that citizens are prepared and know how to respond in emergencies. So this is a great program. Take advantage of it. And last but not least, I want to encourage you to have your kids participate in the Unearth a Story, which the Cascade Library Summer Reading Program kicks off June 3rd at the Evelyn G. Laurie Library. I think our mayor will be joining us for the kickoff to read to kids, so we're excited about that. As you know, several of the council members, and I'm sure all of us will join in before it's over, making sure we read to our young people. So that concludes my announcements for District 1.
Thank you, Councilwoman. District 2, Councilman Johnson.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. Couple things. The street dedication ceremony honoring Pastor Pollard was held last Sunday, and it was a wonderful event. I want to take the time to say thank you to the staff that made sure that it was an amazing day. Dr. Cooper and the rest of the staff, thank you. Pastor Pollard's family was really grateful for the outpouring of love and support that they received from the city. We have another street dedication coming up on Saturday at 11 a.m. for Senator Donzella James. It will be on the corner of Pittman Road and Stonewall Till. Come out and support Senator James if you can. We also want to recognize National Police Week this week, May 10th through the 16th. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our women and men in blue and ask my colleagues to join me in applause for the work you all do on a daily to protect us, make sure we're all right. I need a piece of gum though. And thank you all for the work that you do. And I'm telling you, like no other, from California to Florida, Say Twin is everywhere. And congratulations to also for the South Fulton Police Department on the groundbreaking for our new headquarters, as well as the fire department for our training facility. That took place last week. Both events were amazing. We're looking forward to, it was just great for the city, and we continue to move the city in the right direction. Last week, I had the wonderful opportunity of spending Teacher Appreciation Week with teachers all across District 2. Each day we gave them donuts. I think I gained about 8 pounds, so I'm gonna have to go walk that off. But the teachers, we really appreciate the teachers in the city of South Fulton and in our Fulton County school system. But to teachers all over, it was a great week for them. We're looking forward this week to spending time with our seniors. I got to get my two-step together for this Friday, May 15th, for our all-white affair. I still don't have a white jacket, Madam Mayor, but I got to tighten up, man. Just get me a little shirt or something. Amazon, you're right. We're looking forward to that, inviting all the council members to stop by if you have an opportunity. And we did get a little relief this weekend from the road closures on I-285, but I wanted to remind everyone that they're moving it to this weekend. So starting Friday night at 7 p.m., I-285 will be closed from Martin Luther King all the way to Cascade Road. So pack a lot of patience. Think about some people you might need to call because you're going to spend a lot of time in your car if you come through that way. So those are my only announcements for tonight. Thank you.
All right, that was good. That was good. We might as well go home now. Okay, no, I'm just teasing. But I agree with that traffic on 285. Make sure you spend all your money in South Fulton. So if you get stuck, go visit some of our businesses. All right, District 4, Councilman Sebastian.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I'm reminding our police department, say they're ready to give Cam Newton an honorary badge and all that stuff. But I've been out here in these streets trying to control the traffic, so just saying. For us, I want you all to join us in District 4. We're going to have our town hall, our legislative town hall, meeting on the 21st of this month at Fire Station 6, starting at 7 p.m. And those who represent District 4, Senator Rashawn Kemp, Robert Dawson, Representative Robert Dawson, and Representative Lydia Glaze, they're going to be joining me so we can learn about some of the things that happened in the session and some of these bills that the governor is now signing. So I'm looking forward to a packed house that evening. There'll be no streaming, so you have to be in the place to get it. The other thing I want to announce is a partnership with Representative Lydia Glaze again. We're doing a men's health and wellness event at Fire Station 6 on June 6th, and that will start about 11 a.m. We'll have free screenings for us guys. You know, I know some of us don't want to go to the doctor too often, so we're trying to bring healthcare to you. And speaking of healthcare, congratulations to Union City, Fulton County, and the entire South Fulton region, and the folks from Grady, who has brought this wonderful facility into our area. And I'm telling you all, it's worth visiting there if you're not sick, just to see the artwork. It's great in there. And so I'll just say, I believe it opens to the public on June 2nd. So don't go down there yet. They're quite not ready. They said, make sure you all spread the word that we're actually open officially on June 2nd. So again, those are all the announcements that I have, and thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Councilman Sebastian. District 5, Mayor Pro Tem Bell.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna just take about 15 to 20 minutes of your time. No, I'm just teasing, but thank you all for coming out and tuning in live. I want to thank everyone who came out to the Can't Look Away documentary on the impacts of social media. If you missed it, parents and youth, I'm sorry, but it was a lot of information that was given to address the impacts of social media and how it impacts our students' behavior. But I do want to thank the Cultural Affairs Department. We had this event at Southwest Arts Center. I want to thank the parents and the youth who came out and residents, and also our phenomenal panelists. Again, if you missed it, you truly missed out on a treat. Maybe next time we will have this, you will definitely come out, because this was a lot of information about big business and the effects of Meta, Snapchat, and so many other social media platforms that impacts the negative or the negativity that we've seen amongst our youth in the media. And so again, it's important for us to be educated. It's important for parents, community leaders, teachers to be knowledgeable and educated, specifically as it relates to social media. So nevertheless, thank you for those that came, and we're moving right along. So I also want to thank Maternal World Health Organization. This past Saturday, we had a community baby shower where we were able to bless over 60 women that are currently carrying and looking forward to becoming mothers, whether they're new mothers or adding their new bundles of joy to their families. I definitely want to thank the volunteers that came out, each of our parents that participated were able to receive either a play pad, some type of crib, car seats, as well as bundles of bottles, onesies, and Huggies diapers. So they also had an opportunity to learn about pediatric health care, pediatric CPR. We talked about SID as well as SUD. We talked about crib care and provided maternal health resources. So again, I want to thank all of the mothers. Even the mother in our city that just had her baby came to the event on Saturday and had her baby on Sunday. I just want to say congratulations to her. Yes, she went straight to labor after working at the voting poll as a poll worker during that day, attended the community baby shower, and was in the hospital on Sunday delivering her new bundle of joy. So again, I want to thank everyone that made donations, but most importantly, the Maternal World Health Organization for partnering and making sure that they brought this to our community where it's such a great need. This Thursday, on a positive note, starts our new 3D construction design program at Burdette Park with our triple award winning Workforce Academy program. So it starts this Thursday, May the 14th at 6 p.m. If you or anyone that you know of over the age of 18 years of age and older that is interested in a new field, upskilling or reskilling opportunities, we have a 3D construction printing and design program that will begin this Thursday, May the 14th at 6 p.m. So I do encourage residents, come on out. This is a great free opportunity for you to upskill and receive new skills so that you can become a part of the qualified workforce pool. On Wednesday, tomorrow, we will have our annual and quarterly D5 Town Hall meeting. Let's Talk. It's at Burdette Park from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We do have our special guest, the principal planner, Ms. Celine Benoit from ARC, who will be discussing important information as it relates to data centers. So if you have any questions that's been bursting in your soul regarding data centers and you want community updates, and an opportunity to address complex situations where we can go in detail, then this is the time for you to join us at our District 5 Let's Talk Town Hall meeting. And again, it is tomorrow, Wednesday, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Burdette Park. And as my colleagues mentioned, we love literacy and education on our dais, from our mayor down to our council. So I just want to encourage our residents, most specifically what I consider our seasoned elite, to please join us as we continue our Generations Read Together program at Burdette Park. We have seniors that have committed to coming in and reading to our babies at least once a week. So if you're interested, please reach out to my office. Mr. Watley, my constituent services, is right behind. If you need any information or want to sign up or want any additional information on how to be connected at our newsletter, he has a QR code. You can scan it, easy peasy. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our office. And as always, thank y'all for coming out tonight and tuning in.
All right, that did take 20 minutes. No, just teasing. Moving on to District 6, Councilwoman Natasha Williams Brown.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. No, I'm not going to take 20 minutes. Just a couple of quick reminders. This Saturday, May 16th, is going to be the District 6 monthly food distribution in Creel Park from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. As always, please get there. People start lining up at 9, so please do get there in sufficient time to be able to get some fresh fruits and vegetables, or if you know somebody experiencing food insecurity, please send them our way so that we can service them Saturday beginning at 10 a.m. Thank you, as always, to Principal Smith and all the teachers at Love T. Nolan for all of their hard work this year. It was a pleasure to be able to celebrate them during Teacher Appreciation Week with lunch. I understand that we were also able to get gift cards from Zaxby's that were donated, and so thank you to Zaxby's. They are a wonderful community partner. Please do go patronize them. They are at Old National and Flat Shoals Road, and the manager is always extremely supportive of what we do here in the city of South Fulton and always willing to give back to the community. Let's see. Reminder that this month is Mental Wellness Month. And so I believe that we have these mental awareness cards that are available to everybody to take care of your mental health. So please do pick one of these up on your way out. If you have not gotten word, State Rep Emeritus, and come sit by the water and just fellowship. And I got the opportunity to meet one of the representatives from Kroger this morning who is kind enough to support this event, and she's got a few little surprises planned for us again this year. This is the part of the program where I look in the back and ask, did I get it all? Having been reassured that I got it all, these have been your what? Church announcements for the week, and we are all going to do what? Govern ourselves accordingly.
Really quick, did you say your food distribution is Saturday or is it Sunday?
It is Saturday. It is Saturday at 10 a.m., but the cars start lining up at 9 a.m.
Okay, I'll get with you later. There's something that says Sunday and somebody. Okay.
See, that's why he's the hardest working man in show business.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to District 7, Councilwoman Linda B. Pritchett.
Thank you. I hope that everyone had a nice Mother's Day. I did. And I want to give a shout out to our sanitation staff. We had a recycling and shredding day this weekend, and the staff actually brought lunch for us that they prepared, and they also gave out roses to all the mothers that came in line. So I thought that that was really a nice touch, and I appreciate all that they do to accommodate our community. So that was real nice. I wasn't expecting that, but I appreciate it. Again, it's National Police Week, and tomorrow I'll be traveling to Washington, D.C., because our first fallen officer, Captain Elio Armando Garcia III, his name is on the national wall that recognizes fallen officers around the country. Our honor guard is already there, and I'll be joining them. It's going to be very bittersweet, but I feel that it's important to represent our city and support the memory and honor our first fallen officer. And I think that's all I have. I yield. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you to one of the hardest working councils that I've seen in quite some time. First of all, I want to thank you all that attended our State of the City. It was a great time, very proud. Many of you felt the energy that was in the room. And again, I'm proud of this council and the work that they continue to do. So we are a city that is definitely on the rise. So I continue to ask you all to make sure you just keep doing what you need to do to move the city forward. Also, I want to say congratulations to the May graduates, as well as the ones that are coming up in June. I'm telling you all, this is your season. What's wrong?
Oh, my son is
So you have parents up here saying amen, amen. I always tell our students to go be great and remember to bring their talents back to South Fulton. Some of you all were able to meet some of the students that are participating in the college prep program, as I said, for the city, and they're getting real experience as well. So great times with that. I think we also talked about celebrating National Police Week. And that has been a wonderful, wonderful thing. And we do have quite a bit of our officers that are going up to DC along with Councilwoman Pritchett to, celebrate actually not celebrating. Well, we celebrating the life of Garcia and the work that he's done and making sure that he is recognized properly. So thank you all for keeping this family in your prayers. We talked about the Legacy Brunch. Also on May 20th, Amazon will be hosting a virtual workshop on how to do business with Amazon. I don't know if many of you all are small business owners, but they are actually participating with the city because they are a community partner where they will be teaching you how to register your products online as well as get everything straight to be an Amazon provider. So I think that's important because I want to learn how to sell some stuff on Amazon. So I'm ready to register for that. So the flyer will be coming out very soon. We all have been working extremely hard. Last week was a whirlwind. There were plenty of events. We attended Lucy McBeth's safety meeting over in DeKalb County. Hopefully, they will be able to do one over here. We have municipal swearings in of our judges and our solicitor. Many of us attended Congressman Scott's funeral, as well as the celebration for Pastor Pollard. We also had the wonderful groundbreaking. South Fulton Development Authority recognized myself and Councilwoman Pritchett for the work that we've done, especially, I think it was Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, it was pretty fun. We also had a Metro Atlanta's mayor's meeting, so all of the mayors for the Metro Atlanta area came together. We met. We talked about AI in government. So as we know that is a new trend that a lot of people are getting on board with. And as well as I attended the Atlanta Fire Rescue Foundation breakfast, and one of our very own residents that live in South Fulton, Captain Cedric Langford, was awarded the Officer of the Year. So please give him a round of applause. He lives in our city. And I wish we could steal him to come and work for South Fulton, but I mind my business. And lastly, there was also at the Atlanta Airport Rotary Club luncheon today, one of our honorees, the City of South Fulton Police Officer of the Year, Lieutenant Charles Cook, and the City of South Fulton Firefighter of the Year, Mason Bray. So again, I think I've covered mostly everything. I will tell people, please, I'm sorry, it is Municipal Clerks Week as well, to one of the baddest clerks in the Metro Atlanta area, and our Deputy Clerk, Audra Caldwell, and their staff. They are awesome. So we also celebrate you as well. And let's see. Lastly, I would say, I'm stealing this from another mayor. Don't try to steal my joy because you can't find your own. Secondly, the more you continue to come from me, the more God will continue to bless me. And that is for everyone on this council. So that is facts. There is no such thing that Ms. Gums is trying to go and get a raise because I make my own money. So I really don't appreciate the lies that are being told. Now, based off all of the work that we do here, we need a raise, but that is not something that I am doing. So I'm going to put it on the record now. That is not what Ms. Gums is doing. So whatever lies that you all continue to spread on this council, spread on me, God will continue to bless us. So with that being said, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
That brings us to Roman numeral 11 agenda items under administration. Number 1 is second reading, request council approval of an ordinance to amend Title 3, Building Regulations, Chapter 3, Miscellaneous Provisions of the South Fulton Code of Ordinances to require new conveyor car washes to recycle water to comply with the requirements of the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District's 2022 Water Supply and Water Conservation Management Plan to conserve water resources.
All right. Council, you all have had the opportunity to read the agenda for item 11AC. A through C. If there is no objection, we will adopt this through gross unanimous consent. Are there any objections? All right. Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
That brings us to first read ordinances, letter D. We have 4 this evening. Number one, first read, an ordinance of the City of South Fulton, Georgia, to amend Title 15, Public Safety and Offenses, to prohibit unauthorized public camping, to define camping in related terms, to establish notice, removal, and storage procedures, to provide enforcement and documentation requirements, to protect health, safety, and access to public spaces. This is sponsored by Councilmember Williams Brown. Number two, first read, an ordinance to establish standardized protocols for the planning, coordination, and conduct of city-sponsored special events, to define roles and participation eligibility, to provide for recognition of elected officials, to establish enforcement mechanisms. This is sponsored by Councilmember Williams Brown and co-sponsored by Councilmember Pritchett. Number three, first read, an ordinance of the City of South Fulton, Georgia, amending Title 15, Chapter 7, Panhandling, to establish mandatory incident documentation and enforcement reporting requirements to ensure consistent enforcement. This is sponsored by Councilmember Williams Brown. Number four, first read, zoning ordinance for KZ 26-002, an application by Mike Lee, care of We Partner LLC, requested rezoning from AG1 to CUP to develop 35 single-family homes on 15 acres at 4700 Welcome Hall Road, City Council District 3.
All right. Is there any more? All right, Mr. Clerk, please sound the next item.
Next item was walk-ons, which we do not have any, and the next item is executive session if necessary.
All right, council, I don't believe there is an executive session need. If there is no objection, we will now adjourn. All right, thank you for everyone that has attended, and have a wonderful week ahead. Good night.
We adjourned at 7:43 p.m.